Hey guys, so I want to make this video. I am at Home Depot. So what if you bought a tiny home from Home Depot for under $4,000? For $3,800 you could buy a tiny home, but it's not a tiny home, it's a shed. But could you convert this shed into a tiny home for $3,800? Sure you could. I mean, I step inside here. You got vaulted ceilings, you got plenty of room, you got two windows, you got a back door there that you can open up, you could put flooring, you could run electric, you could sheetrock this, you could put a ceiling, you could put a little ceiling fan in there. I mean, you could make this like a suite. The problem is with all tiny home type setups is you need land, but the real issue is you need land in a township that will allow you to put such a structure on it without major restrictions. Meaning most townships I looked at want you to build at least 1,000 square foot house. You have to have a certain foundation built that's in compliance with their code. You have to hook up to utilities. You have to have all these different things, which I've made a video in the past and I talked about that. But certainly if you had a piece of land in the middle of nowhere or a remote piece of land and you just wanted to keep quiet as kept and not necessarily make a big deal of it, could you get away with it? It's possible. Do I recommend it? That's your decision. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but all I could tell you is that for under $4,000, if you had a piece of property, that you did have a house on, I mean, you could put this anywhere on the property, do whatever you want, but to a certain extent. But obviously, you always get into code issues if somebody was living in it and there was a fire or something like that. But the bottom line is, for under $4,000, I mean, that's all you need to live in. It's just could you buy a $10,000, $20,000 piece of land and put this on there? Hell yeah. You could make that big enough to drive your small car in there. You could drive a Prius in here probably and fit it in here. But it's just interesting. They got some more, but this seemed the most reasonable to me as far as a living quarters, with the height, with the roof, the price point, the windows, the setup, because it's more than a shed. It's almost like a living quarters. So again, there may be some townships that allow it. Again, you have to be responsible for you and do all the research and do things legally and compliant. But just giving you a visual inspiration and another alternative option, a living style. But again, most townships, from my research, they want you to put a foundation. They want the house a certain square footage. You have to hook it up to utilities. You have to have certain code regulations, permits, all those things. So even though you get excited, you see under $4,000, by the time you get done with all those code compliant rules and everything like that, in most areas you're going to have an issue, unless you're in the middle of nowhere, and that's a different another ball game maybe. But either way, I mean, for most people, I always say, for a single person, even for two people, I think you could live in here no problem. Single person, without a doubt. I mean, two people, you could even put like a dividing wall here. You take that side of the shed, I'll take this side, and we'll live in harmony. This is cute though. I gotta admit, it's cute. Readily available. I mean, it's amazing to me, under $4,000, that you could really live a peaceful existence and have. I mean, you could live off the grid. Like I said, most townships, they want you to hook up to the grid, even if you don't have active utilities. But you can certainly just solar, bring some water tanks, holding tanks or something in here, and you could hook up a shower. I mean, you could do everything. But just something in my travels today I wanted to show you, and just spark your creative juices, get you thinking, get you inspired, even if this is not going to be a reality for whatever reason. For me, on my journey on downsizing my life, living a simple life. That's what I'm talking about here, living a downsized, simple life. I live full-time out of my Jeep Renegade. Most people can't do that or shouldn't do that, but some people may. I mean, everyone's different. But either way, I think less is more, and I think this is just something as a visual inspiration is inspiring to me. And so continue to push forward on your journey.